hijinks after, I guess, a little bit of a hiatus. I haven't really been up to anything, just kind of busy with summer-related stuff. Yeah, just the daily stuff you get into when the weather finally turns nice. Nice, of course, is kind of based on perspective. Actually, the weather has been insane. Like, one day it'll be 90 degrees outside, and the next day it will be 65. And day 3 will be up to 80 something, and then day 4 will drop down to the mid-50s. Which is playing havoc on my sinuses. Because I unfortunately tend to get my nose stuffy when the weather changes drastically. And it has been changing drastically every 24 hours for about 3 weeks now. On top of the massive temperature changes, we've been having a lot of thunderstorms. A lot. Every 2 or 3 days we'll have a thunderstorm. Which is really weird where I live, just outside of Milwaukee. And usually in June it's fairly dry. But not this year, I guess. Which has been fun, because I love thunderstorms, and when we get one, I like to kind of open up all of the windows and shut the TV off, or radio, whatever happens to be on, and spend the afternoon listening to the storm. But on the other hand, that's caused some problems for me with my garden, because I grow hybrid tea roses, which are, and by the way, all the pictures I'm using for this video, except for one of them, which will be kind of obvious, are pictures of flowers out of my garden. And I'll include the names of them just in case you happen to be interested. But hybrid tea roses are very, very prone to fungal diseases and mildews, both of which happen to flourish in very damp conditions. And right now the ground is almost completely saturated, and we've had flood warnings and whatnot. So all of these diseases are hitting my flowers much earlier in the year than they would normally. And it's been a hassle, because since it's been raining every few days, I haven't been able to get out and spray them with pesticides to try it. Even if I can't prevent it or even stop it, I can at least control it. But it's one of those situations where if you have a hybrid tea rose in the middle of the Sahara Desert and you spray it with pesticides, just a few hours later the sky will cloud over and it will rain. It's kind of like when you wash your car and you leave it in the driveway all shiny and pretty, and a flock of geese flies over. It's going to happen. So, bites a little bit, but I did finally get the opportunity to spray a couple of days ago, and it looks like it's helping a little bit. Hopefully I'll be able to give them another dose, either late this week or early next week. I don't want to do it too often, because it'll burn the leaves, which is every bit as bad as having a fungal infection. So, you win pictures. They're not very good. So I'm not using them. Of my touch of glass and my Audrey Hepburn with 17 or 18 blooms on them. And they're huge, huge flowers. They're the size of my hand. So, it was great, and hopefully I'll be able to get them back into shape for the second bloom, but after the early summer, I'll just, be happy if I can just get them all healthy again. So, now, it's a labor of love, I guess. Outside of that, and I'm not sure if this is a consequence of all of the rain we've been having, or if it's just some weird natural cycle, but last week was Firefly week in my town, and where I live, the fireflies only last for a week or two. I don't know if it's the same throughout the country, but last week was our week, and I honestly have never seen so many fireflies in my entire life. It was like an Owl City song outside. It was Disney World at Christmas time. It was sparkly flashing lights all over the place. And I was actually, sorry, I was driving home from yoga last week, Tuesday night, and I was so distracted by the sheer glitteriness of the strawberry field that I drove past that I almost ran off of the road, but it would have been worth it. And with a full moon rising in the back as well. Must not have been Tuesday night then, must have been, I forget when the full moon was, Wednesday, Thursday-ish. Get my days mixed up. Not that it matters to you, but whatever. But it was a good time. I thought about actually pulling over to the side of the road and standing and watching for a little while, but I remembered I live in Wisconsin, where after sunset you can be pretty well assured that at least 1 out of every 7 drivers is going to be at least slightly inebriated, so I decided maybe it would be more prudent to wait until I got back into my neighborhood where there are sidewalks, and I could at least keep a safe 10 feet or so between myself and the sloshed, which is exactly what I did. I went home and got my beagle, and I took her for a walk, and she just kind of pulled me the entire way. Beagle has no sense of poetry, but I did manage to get her to stop for a while by a little creek that we have near my house, and it's always surrounded by long grass, which I guess fireflies really love. And just kind of stopped and spent about 10 minutes watching the blinking lights until a beagle started yelling at me, and we had to go because there were lots of interesting smells to get to. But it was a good time. And, well, I hope we get so many next year, but I guess you can't necessarily count on these things. It's up to nature, I guess. But that's about it, I think. Not a whole lot. Just, kind of enjoying life. And, the same goes